If you've been thinking about starting over in a new city or state, but you keep telling yourself that you don't have enough money, you don't have enough time, or you don't have everything perfectly figured out, then this video is for you. Here's my top 3 pieces of advice for anyone thinking about starting over. Number 1, it's always better to have a financial cushion, but what's even more so important is having realistic faith in yourself. Most of us will never feel like we have enough money to make that move. And that's exactly the mentality that keeps us stuck. Personally, for me, I always knew that I wanted to move, but I kept telling myself, okay, by next year, by this time, by that time, I should have enough money to move. And then you know what kept happening? Something always kept popping up. Some financial thing always kept popping up that I had to deal with. And I just kept pushing the date back. So I just kept pushing the time back. Okay, well, I'm going to move at the end of the year. I'm going to move next year. So, waiting to feel like you have enough money to move is what usually keeps us stuck. You don't need a whole lot of money to make that move. You just need to have a cushion and realistic faith in yourself, in your abilities to create sources of income, to find a job, to create a new source of income, even if it's temporary, even if it's not, something that you want to do forever. You have to have that realistic faith in yourself to do that. So one thing I recommend is using the skills and experience that you already have, because starting over in a new state might not be the best time to start over in a completely new career. So even if you do want to change careers eventually, your current experience might help you to be able to secure a better paying job a lot faster. Number 2, being intentional about what you're actually starting over for. Because, you see, I didn't move just to say that I moved. I moved because I wasn't happy where I was previously. The quality of life that I was living. So I made very intentional choices of the things that I was not willing to negotiate anymore in terms of my living situation, my living conditions, and the little stressors that that may have seemed small back in the day when I was looking for the cheapest place to rent just because it was super cheap, but had to deal with pests and termites, or parking my car 5 blocks down the street, or carrying my groceries 5 blocks down the street. So all these little things, these were all intentional decisions that I had to make prior to moving, because the goal is to be like upgrade your life into a better situation than you were previously. You're not gonna leave one thing and then go to something worse. So just be intentional about what it is that you really want, what you're willing to sacrifice, and really try to think long term about if these little things are actually worth sacrificing, if they will become big stressors in the future, or if it might just be better to just trust yourself and just choose for you, choose what makes you happy, and trust yourself that you will be able to figure it out. And my third piece of advice, which is probably the most important, is turn the idea into a clear goal. A move can look sudden to everyone else, but that doesn't mean that it was impulsive. See, I had always known that I wanted to move, but I just kept delaying it because I didn't think that I had enough. So eventually I stopped saying someday I'm gonna move, and then I asked myself, what would I need to do to be able to move in the shortest realistic time? So I gave myself approximately 3 months. And everybody's timeline or time frame will be different, and it will all be based on that question that you ask yourself. What is the most realistic amount of time that I would need to be able to pull this off? But in those 3 months that I gave myself, I had to find somewhere to live. I had to secure employment. I had to tie up my old lease. I had to save for the move. And basically, I had to tie up all of the all of the loose ends and everything that I needed to get to tie up before I actually left the state. And I'm not gonna lie, it was an intense process. But once my goal was clear, then all of my actions started aligning with what it was that I needed to do. And those are my top 3 pieces of advice that helped me to be able to make the move that I made. Because starting over doesn't require you to have every detail figured out, but it does require preparation, intentionality, and enough belief in yourself to take the next step. Because a dream will stay a dream unless you give it a deadline and start creating a plan around it. And that's really how manifestation works. So if you're thinking about taking that leap of faith, then don't talk yourself out of it. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. So follow along for my journey, because this is only the beginning and we're just getting started.